But first of all, just introduce the group. It's the Eastfield Early Brass. I want to plug Eastfield, the school across the street over there. They've sponsored the group probably for a little over 10 years now. It's good of them to do that so we can come out and play in the community like we're doing here. And next of all, let me thank, first of all, you for being here. Musicians practice in little rooms, and we try to rehearse and get ready to play, but it's nice to play in front of people, live music in front of people, and we can't do that without you. And it's a lot of things you can be doing on a Sunday afternoon in May, but thanks for coming here, even on a stormy day here. Thank you also, one more thank you, Eastminster. Appreciate all the help we get, and they're great hosts. First of all, they let us play in this incredible acoustic as well as beautiful sanctuary, and I've heard they give a nice reception too. So if you have time afterwards, we'd love to visit with you a little bit down in the fellowship hall at a reception. Thank you to Fred. Thank you to Bruce. You guys have been a great help helping us put all this together and host this. Thank you for hosting it. We've got a program for you. You can probably see you picked up one out in front. It's pretty varied, and we hope you enjoy it. We worked on it to try to give you different styles of music that you listen to this afternoon. The first one is a fanfare. It's nice sometimes to begin with a fanfare. I thought about this a couple of times. Maybe don't start with this because it's one of the hardest ones, but we're going to jump in anyway with a fanfare by a man named, let's see, it's Sir Arthur Bliss. I'd never heard of Sir Arthur Bliss before. But Arthur Bliss was a British citizen. He lived, was born about 1890-something, 1891, I believe. Oh, sometimes we think of these composers as guys sitting at a desk with a pen, writing down all their lives, but that's really, as you know, not the case. Arthur Bliss led an incredible life. He was 20-something when World War I started. He was sent off to the battlefield. He was shot in the leg in France, almost died from blood loss in the battlefield. But they rescued him, brought him back, patched him up. He went back out on the battlefield, and he almost died from poison gas the second time. But he did make it through, and he did, did some good work in composing and being a conductor in England. He eventually became Sir Arthur Bliss because he was the keeper of the music, I think was his title. It was a very prestigious job. He got to, whenever there's something going on with royalty, he picked the music or composed it, got the musicians ready, and conducted it. This fanfare we're going to do is called the Fanfare for the Lord Mayor of London. He wrote this fanfare for the Mayor of London for some occasion, I'm not sure which. But, yeah, Fred. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to speak? Who are you? No, come on.
Hi, I'm Paul Burns. I'm pastor of Eastminster Presbyterian Church, and I just really wanted to thank you for being here, and it's so awesome to have Eastfield Early Brass again. As you're going to hear, the acoustics in this building were very much designed for both vocal and instrumental music, so we're pleased to host events like this. Also, extend an invitation to you who are here. Our church is involved with many things, but one of the things that I think you will love is Saturday morning, our neighborhood breakfast from 8 to 10. It is a free breakfast of pancakes and coffee and sausage and fellowship, just to come and be with people and enjoy a good meal. And we have Bible study on Wednesdays at 10:30 that I interested in learning more deeply about books of the Bible. We're currently studying the book of Daniel, which has a wonderful historical place in the narrative of the Bible. But without any further ado, I give you the Eastfield Early Brass.
Thank you. And if you need to say something else, just bump me out of the way. I'm happy to let you have the microphone. I've said a lot about Arthur Bliss already. Interesting guy. He became knighted and is Sir Arthur Bliss. Now, but the fanfare we're going to play for you, it really gives a good example of British pomp and their circumstance that they would do. But if you listen to it carefully, he was a military guy. You kind of hear the military influences of it also. It's kind of like these bugle calls working back and forth within the group. So you hear the military as well as the British culture when you hear this really kind of neat fanfare by Sir Arthur Bliss. Let me let him play one more note. I've talked a long time to warm up, and then we'll start this piece. Here we go. I've gotten older and I forget I've got to switch glasses. Maybe you can see why I hesitated to start with that one. That's a really tough one to come out of the gate with, but good job, guys. We're going to make a big jump shift now into from a fanfare to a tango. Tango by Carlos Gardel. When you hear the word tango, you can think of either a dance or a piece of music. Let me talk just a minute about a dance, a tango dance. They began somewhere, the tango began in Argentina sometime in the 1800s. Things were different in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Let me read a quick quote about a tango, way back in the day. As its popularity spread, cultural norms were conservative in the early 1900s. So tango dancing was considered too sexual, too inappropriate for public display. It's called the dance of love. So tangos, but now maybe not so much. But this tango that we're doing by Carlos Gardel, pretty famous tango, but it also has lyrics. The music has some lyrics to it. And it's about, let me talk to you about it, the lyrics. It'll help you understand the tango maybe a little bit more. It's about a man who was kind of addicted to gambling, horse racing mainly. The name of the tango is Tango por un cabeza, I believe, but means tango by a head. More about that in a minute. But it's about this man who was addicted to gambling, horse racing. He had a sure thing, he thought, so he shoved all of his wealth into a race. And as you can guess, his horse lost by a head. So he loses all his money. But he was also infatuated with the beauty and the love of a woman. But because he lost all his money, he lost the woman. He lost both. So this tango has this wonderful, passionate theme that kind of runs through it. But at the end, it kind of slows down and gets soft when he realizes he's lost both his wealth and the lady. it's a pretty, like I say, a pretty famous tango. You probably heard it before, didn't know the name of it. It was in, if you remember the movie Scent of a Woman back in the 1990 or so, not that far back, 1990 something, Al Pacino played a blind man. He was this tango famous scene dancing with this lovely lady. This is the tango they're dancing to, Tango por en Cabeza. It's also in Schindler's List. And if you're tuning in during the holiday season to Bad Santa, it's also in Bad Santa. I'm not sure where, but I'll watch it next time and try to find it out. Wonderful place, wonderful tango. We're going to play it for you now. Listen for this great passionate theme, but then at the end, it goes down when he finally has a sad ending. Next on the program, Wayfaring Stranger. Did your program say 12 Wayfaring Strangers? It does, okay. I think the arranger, Mr. Chris Woods, very fine brass arranger. He arranges for Eurobrass, a professional group. I think he's got a sense of humor. It's arranged for 12 parts, so I guess he's saying we're all 12 Wayfaring Strangers. But the tune is Wayfaring Stranger. It's a beautiful a folk song that we've got in the American Songbook. It goes back, oh gosh, to the pre-Civil War, Revolutionary War time, way back in our country. We don't know who wrote it. It's a shame because it's a beautiful piece. Most likely a slave wrote this piece, and it's about a plaintive soul sort of working his way through life. It's about the struggles in life and the expected paradise on the other side. So he's probably a really troubled person, has a lot of difficulties in life, but he says, earth is not really my home. The paradise afterwards is my home. So profound text in this thing as well as beautiful melody. It's kind of hard to really plug this in. What kind of, is it a folk song? Is it a spiritual? Is it a Western song? The songwriter, the Western guys claimed it. The Western songwriter said it's of all the Western songs ever written, it's in the top 25 of all Western songs written. So we're going to play this one for you now, but it features an instrument maybe you're familiar with, maybe not, probably not. It's flugelhorns. It's kind of a funny name. I think maybe, correct me, I may be wrong, somebody named Flugel invented it, German guy probably. But they will have two flugelhorns that are have to state the theme the first couple of times, and it's for this kind of beautiful, kind of lonesome sound that this song invokes. Would you hold them up? Let them see the flugelhorns. Kind of see they're sort of a trumpet, but it's a little bit of a cross between a French horn and trumpet. The tubing is a little more conical, the bell's a little bigger, so it's a little mellower sounding than the trumpet. So let me let you hear him play. We'll play the first phrase. You can kind of hear the sound that the flugelhorn does if you're not familiar with it. Interesting sound, I think, that he lets you hear this this kind of faraway sound on this tune. We'll play it for you now. Like I said, Chris Woods was the arranger. Kind of has a sense of humor. He plays in this style for a while. Then he kind of goes into a sort of a swing style. Then he goes back to that style. So you hear it, this folk song in different styles in one arrangement. So we'll play it for you now. Wayfaring Stranger. Next, we've got another dance. This is the Miller's Dance. It's by Manuel de Falla. You may be familiar with him, maybe not. Manuel de Falla is one of the most important Spanish composers. He composed during the first half of the 20th century. Just a quick thing to put on your list, if you're not familiar with Manuel de Falla, beautiful piece, Nights in the Gardens of Spain, for orchestra and piano. If you have never heard that, make sure you do. A beautiful piece he wrote. But we're not going to do that one. We're doing the Miller's Dance from the Three-Cornered Hat. It's a Three-Cornered Hat is a ballet that Manuel de Falla wrote all the music for, and the Miller's Dance is one of the pieces in the ballet. You might say, well, who's the Miller and why is he dancing? The Miller was one of the characters in the plot of this ballet, and the plot of the ballet is worthy of a TV soap opera. It's got love, jealousy, betrayal. It's got good guys, bad guys, trickery, guys that are kind of in the gray area, all sorts of different things going on in this ballet. Can't go into all that, but just a quick slice where the Miller starts dancing in this ballet. The Miller's a good-looking, strong guy that's, of course, the Miller of this village, but he also has a very lovely young wife. And there's a magistrate, an older magistrate that always wears a three-cornered hat. That's where the ballet gets its name. And this magistrate has eyes for the Miller's young wife. That's part of the soap opera deal. But the Miller and his wife are able to trick this magistrate into, in a situation where the whole village could see the corrupt guy that he was. And so when they pull this off, the Miller is happy, he's celebrating, so he decides to do this flamenco dance. And this is the Miller's Dance that we're going to do now. It begins with a couple of French horn, cadenzas. And the second cadenza, you hear the Miller just kind of laughing just before the dance starts. Then you have this really kind of energetic flamenco Spanish dance. And at the end, it gets faster and faster. I'm sure he's whirling and doing all sorts of things at the end of the dance, if you see the ballet. But this is a neat, very typical Spanish sort of field dance, flamenco dance that we're doing now for you. It's the Miller's Dance by Manuel de Falla from the Three-Cornered Hat. non-Spanish music. I'm going to do a piece now called Barrage, kind of a strange name for a piece of music. A man named Chris Hazel, gentleman from Great Britain, composed this back around, I think, the 1980s sometime. Chris Hazel had, at this time, had 3 cats that was living in the family house with the family. And if you've ever had cats, you probably know they have their own personalities. And these 3 cats all did have their own personalities. So he thought he would write a piece called 3 Brass Cats. And each one of the movements describes the personality of one of the cats. And Barrage was the cat that he said thought he was sort of owned the place. He would strut around like he was the most important living being in the house. And that's what he's trying to depict with his music here. It's another piece that sort of is in a swing style. This type of group really doesn't do a lot of jazz and swing style music. One of the reasons is because we don't have a percussion section, no trap drum set, which with that quite a bit. So you don't hear that a lot from this type. But Chris Hazel had a pretty good talent for arranging and composing, and still makes it work pretty well with this sort of group, I think, this jazz style. So we'll play now for you Barrage, the coolest cat in the house. reverse the order now. You probably have Pastime with Good Company next. I'm going to jump down. We'll do that in just a minute, but let us do A Mighty Fortress is Our God next. Come in a beautiful sanctuary like this, I wanted to do one arrangement of a hymn. And this is a neat arrangement of this hymn by Martin Luther. Martin Luther, of course, was the leader of the Protestant Reformation back in the 1500s. As well as being a great theologian, he wrote a lot of hymns. And this is probably his most well-known hymn, probably his best. And you think, why did he write so many hymns? At least I did originally. But if you think back in the Renaissance before Martin Luther, the church music had gotten very complex. It's beautiful, but very complex, hard to sing, hard to play. It was really for the professionals, not the people sitting in the congregation to actually enter in and sing. So he wanted, one of the tenets of the Reformation, bring the congregation back in on the music, where the music they could sing. So he composed some hymns that they could sing and hopefully had some pretty good theology in them also. So this, like I say, is probably the best one, most well-known. It's a good melody. Great composers after Martin Luther borrowed it. Kind of J.S. Bach used it in one of his pieces. Felix Mendelssohn, Reformation Symphony, he uses it in that. And a guy that really surprised me, a pronounced atheist, Richard Wagner, he used it also in one of his pieces. So it was used. It's a good melody. It's kind of moved its way a little bit into the secular culture. It's you've seen it in films, on TV. I've heard it. And a friend of mine said he heard his grandkid playing a video game. It came on the video game. So it's all over the place. It still is. Good hymn. And also, as a sign of unity, the Catholic Church put it in its book of suggested hymns. So Protestant hymn in the Catholic suggested hymn. So really a hymn that's done a lot. It's another neat arrangement by Chris Woods, the one that did Wayfaring Stranger. So I want to get it in before they get too tired. It's a pretty difficult one. But we'll do this one, then we'll do Pastime for Good Company after this. Thank you. We're going to do one more by ourselves, Pastime with Good Company. And after we finish that, we'll ask the combined choirs. We're going to do one piece at the end. I think you'll enjoy with St. Mark's and Eastminster choirs. Will come up and sing a piece with the brass. Good piece. I'm going to let Fred announce it in just a minute, but I think you'll enjoy that one. The next piece, the last piece we're doing for you by ourselves, Pastime with Good Company. If you'll look your program, it looks like King Henry VIII wrote that. It's kind of, who would have thought? Pastime with Good Company, there's some debate about whether King Henry actually wrote it. There's not a large body of musical work out there that he's composed to prove that he could do much composing. But he was trained, some in outdoor activities, in poetry, literature, some in music. What a lot of people think is maybe King Henry had a little melody going on in his head, and he called one of the court musicians and kind of hummed it to him or sang it to him, and the court musician took it and harmonized it. He added a second theme, made a good ending for it, wrapped it up in a package, gave it back to King Henry. And if King Henry wanted to say he composed it, who's going to argue? Especially the wives. So it's got his name on it now, but who knows how much of it he really composed. But it's really a neat Renaissance piece that shows the kind of the energetic excitement, celebration of the English Renaissance court back in the 1500s. So we'll end with this one for you with our group now before the choirs come up. And enjoy this one. It's Pastime with Good Company. We thought it'd be a good one for us to end with because we've enjoyed our time with your company here today. It's by King Henry VIII, maybe. We'll see. I'm going to get my choral experts up here now. Mr. Ken Cooper is going to conduct, and I'll let him take charge of the chorus right now. Fred, would you like to introduce the piece?
Phil asked me the other night if I would say a few words about Lloyd Fouch, who is the arranger of the piece we're about to do. I first met him in 1958 when I came up to SMU, and it was his, I'm 59, I'm sorry, and he had been there since 58. He was a very interesting guy, very gracious person, had a way of looking over his glasses that if you did something wrong, he had one of those evil eye stares. When you knew when it was evil and you knew when it wasn't, the kind of thing. But he went to, he graduated from Elmhurst College in Illinois, I believe, and he went to Union Seminary and received his master's in theology at Union Seminary, and then he decided to stick around at Union, and he also got a master's in sacred music there. He was one of the first early members of the Robert Shaw Chorale, if you remember them, and he wrote over 300 arrangements and compositions that have been played. My connection to this piece was in 1960, y'all come on down, choir. He would bring in handwritten copies of music that he was arranging or composing, and he would have the university choir sing it, and then he would, tweak it or whatever before he sent it off to the publisher. For our church here, and like I say, he was a very gracious guy. Off and on over the years, he recommended me for many jobs and situations. As my wife will tell you, that I knew him, and I went to school at SMU off and on from 58 to 72. That's a long time. So I managed to carve out 2 degrees, but I was busy during that time. Some of that was Navy, some of it was singing in musicals and operas around the country. And he would always be very gracious, allow me back, make sure I got a scholarship to help pay, come back. Of course, out there at that school, it got higher and higher every year to even go there. But he's a very nice person. He stayed there until he retired in 92. I had the privilege in his 25th anniversary at SMU, along with Rosemary Heffley, who at the time was the director of music at Mesquite High School, putting together the alumni choir and the whole thing for his 25th anniversary. Never could call him Lloyd. He's just one of those kind of people, it was always Dr. Fouch. He had 2 honorary, he didn't have a real doctor's degree, they would say, but he had 2 honorary doctor's degrees, one from Elmhurst and one from West Virginia University. So here at our church, our connection to this piece is when we dedicated this sanctuary, this is one of the pieces that we did. And sitting up in the trumpet played on that. Al and Ray played on that when we did that here. We didn't have pews yet, but we all sat in fold-up chairs and had our dedication service, and they played for us. And another connection, I'm happy to say, Ken Cooper, who I never had met before this week, and that's probably more my fault than it is his fault. But I was at First Church Dallas for about 5 years or so, and about 3 or 4 years after I left, he came, and he stayed there a long time. So I'm very happy to introduce him, and he will be conducting.
I really suggested that Fred conduct this piece, but I think he was afraid that I would sing in the choir. And so he's probably figured I'd do less harm here than I was to do there. I didn't have the privilege of studying with Dr. Fouch. I've known his music for many years, but one very heartwarming thing happened to me just a few months ago. I got a communication from one of my granddaughters in Philadelphia, and she'd made all-region choir. And so she came back from the rehearsal, she said, well, one of my favorite pieces is by a guy by the name of Fouch, and he's from Dallas. And I said, yeah, Dr. Fouch. I know Dr. Fouch. You know Dr. Fouch? I said, yeah, I've had the privilege of knowing him. And so that's the influence of Dr. Fouch on so many churches and so many people and so many singers. Great, great person to have. So it's my privilege to join with the choirs from Eastminster and from St. Mark, and to lead I'll Praise My